Hey, what's up everybody? It's Cammy J Official and welcome to my video. It's Cammy J Official, so let's start the show. To all my returning subscribers, hey! And to anybody that is new, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me, but let's go ahead and get right into the video. To start, we're going to need our color corrector. I have the LA Pro Girl Concealer in the color Orange. I really like using this color corrector because one, it's very cheap and affordable. I only paid $2.99 for this at my local hair store, and you can also find this at Amazon.com as well. Next, you're going to need a full coverage concealer. I'm going to be using the MAC 24 Hour Studio Fix Concealer in the color NC50. You definitely do not need to use a matte concealer to pull off this look, but I do recommend that you always use a concealer that is full coverage because you're going to need that higher level of coverage to be able to seamlessly cover over whatever color corrector you're going to be using at that time. If you use something that has too light of a coverage, you're going to find that you're consistently going to try to build that coverage up over and over again. So definitely for color correcting, I would recommend full coverage all the way. Next, you're going to need some type of brush in order to go ahead and seamlessly blend in the color correcting color. And this was like a really big game changer for me when I purchased this brush. This is the number 57 brush from Sephora. When I got this brush, it literally changed the way I was able to color correct and really make sure that the red color that I was using did not mix in with the concealer that I was using and it did not break through. So I wanted to just give you more shots of the brush so that way you can see exactly how it looks and how it's shaped. You do not have to purchase this exact brush. You can use a brush that is soft and similar to this to go ahead and use for the purposes of blending in your color corrector. You will also need some type of beauty sponge. I'm using the regular beauty blender, but again, you can use any beauty sponge tool that you have at your disposal for this look. The final thing that you're going to need is either a setting spray or a bottle of water that you can use to mist your blending brush. Alright, so let's go into the application. So first and foremost, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys the area that we're going to be working on today. I know a lot of people get on YouTube and say they have dark circles, but I really do have a lot of hyperpigmentation around my eye area. It's not just localized to being under my eye, it's on the side of the bridge of my nose and actually on my eyelids as well. So this is why color correcting really became a very crucial step in my makeup routine, because I wouldn't be able to hide the darkness without properly learning how to color correct. And you can see on my other eye, I do have hyperpigmentation or darkness under the eye, but it's definitely not as bad as the eye that we see here. So I wanted to go ahead and point out the worst side so that way you can see how effective using red color corrector really is when you use it properly. Alright, so once I grab the LA Pro Girl Concealer in Orange, I'm just going to begin to apply it. Now, this is one of the biggest mistakes that people make when it comes to their color corrector, and they wonder why after they use their color corrector, their concealer looks red, is because you're putting too much color corrector on. Always start small and then add more gradually as you need it. You definitely do not need to start off with a full under eye full of orange or red color corrector. Lightly spray your concealer brush and then you're going to apply gentle pressure to wherever you applied the color corrector and begin to just pat it in and blend it out. This is like one of the most crucial steps, and this is the reason why I do not use a beauty blender anymore, because when you use a beauty blender, the beauty blender is going to absorb a lot of the product. So what you want to do is be able to blend enough of the product into your skin without picking it up. And I believe like when you use a beauty blender, you end up just using way too much in an attempt to build up the level of coverage you would want from your color corrector. So this is why I like the brush. It gives it such a nice and even smooth finish brush once you blend it in. So you're just going to continue to blend to your desired effect. I really like to blend the color corrector in and make it as seamless as possible, because this is going to be really important when I go ahead and put my concealer on top. And I just added just 2 more dots to go ahead and also correct the hyperpigmentation that you see here on the side of my nose. Again, I used 2 dots of the color corrector, and I did not use a very large amount of the color corrector. And as before, I'm just going to go ahead and use the blending brush to go ahead and gently tap that into the skin, creating a very smooth and even finish under my eye and on the side of my nose. Again, blending this as much as possible is a very crucial step in making sure that when you do put on your concealer, that everything is hidden perfectly and everything blends smoothly together. And here I'm just showing you where I'm color correcting. You can see I'm not trying to move the color corrector past where I actually have real darkness under my eye. I'm not dragging it too far down, and I'm not dragging it too far out, because again, when you use too much color corrector and when you start to try to put red or orange concealer on places where you do not need to correct, it looks bad. So the only time I'm bringing my brush outward like that is to make sure that the edges of the color corrector are blended in. Now it's time to grab our concealer and our damp beauty sponge. You're going to go ahead and begin the application process for the concealer. As with the color corrector, you don't want to go overboard. You do not want to put too much concealer under the eye. As you can see, I did 4 little lines under the eye, and then I'm going to begin to blend it out. As always, it is easier for you to add than for you to take away. With the Beauty Blender, you're just going to begin to gently pounce the Beauty Blender wherever you put that concealer, so that way you can get a seamless blend. I'm not being harsh, or I'm not really rushing the process, because you want it to blend. So I like to take my time blending to make sure that everything is smooth and even out. And as you can see, looking at me blending the concealer over the orange color corrector, you cannot see any of that orange color corrector whatsoever. But if you notice, the hyperpigmentation is completely covered up because the color corrector is doing its job. And I think when it comes to using red color corrector, it's just about finding the balance and the ratio between color corrector versus your actual concealer. If you use way too much concealer, then you're going to end up looking really unnatural under the eye. And if you use too much color corrector, well, your color corrector is going to be the only thing that people are going to be able to see. So I'm just going to continue to blend and blend. There's going to be a lot of blending because the blending is really important. And again, you do not have to blend as much as I do, but I'm going to blend until I get the desired effect that I want. I'm going to add just a little bit more concealer to the side of my nose, so that way I can blend everything together more seamlessly. As you can see, it's not about using a whole lot of product. It's about using enough product to get the job done and for your coverage to look the way that you want it to look. So I'm just going to blend this in with the rest of everything else I already have under my eye. And once everything is blended, we will be all done and we will be all color corrected. This is the final product. As you can see, everything has been blended out. You cannot see my red color corrector breaking through my full coverage concealer, and everything looks good. We are all color corrected. But guys, I just want to say thank you so much for watching me. I hope that some of you were able to find this video helpful in some type of way. And if you liked what you saw here, I hope that you do consider subscribing to my channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and if you do subscribe, hitting the notification bell, so that way you can see even more videos from me. But let me go ahead and give you a quick before and after photo, so that way you can see exactly how far we've come from really dark raccoon under eyes to being fully color corrected. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.